Hi, Cailey. How are you?
I am good. How are you? I like your poster.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm doing great, thank you. And so excited to be able to talk to you about this movie because I think it's just such a heartwarming, fun film. And, obviously it goes without saying it's all about imaginary characters, but of course they're brought to life with visual effects. So for you to begin with, I'm curious what it was like to have to rely so much on your imagination while you're on set.
Yeah, well, honestly, I was very worried about that whenever we started preparing to shoot because I didn't know what to expect. I kind of just thought maybe there would be like pieces of tape or something because I didn't know. But thankfully, John didn't want that for us. He did everything practically. So we always had something to look at, and it was never, or very rarely, was it like a tennis ball or something. So for the ifs that were in the movie a lot, we had actors. Sometimes we had like puppets, stuffed animals, cardboard cutouts. So even though we still had to use our imagination, we didn't have to use it as much, which really helped.
Yeah, I can imagine. And of course, you mentioned John there. Obviously, he's directing this movie, but he's also playing your dad in the film. So, what was it like to have those two different dynamics with him as both obviously an actor and him as a filmmaker as well?
Well, it was really cool to see how he worked because I had never worked with anyone that directed themselves before. So I was really interested to see how that was going to work just because I had no idea. Um, but John is just the best director ever. I mean, this was literally my dream project, and I think it would have been a whole lot different if he wasn't the man in charge. He's just the best. He's so magical. He's so dedicated to what he does. I just feel very lucky that I got to work with him. And as far as him playing my dad, we shot everything in order except me and John did all of our stuff last. That was his decision. He wanted us, I guess he wanted us to like bond over time shooting so that all of our stuff could be very real. And it worked. So I think he's a genius and he's one of the hardest working people that I know.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I love those scenes between the two of you. But then, of course, on the other hand, you're working with Ryan a lot. And obviously, Ryan Reynolds, he's known to be, I think, a bit of a, have fun on set, improvise a lot. So, what was it like for you to bounce back and forth with him? Because he's having a lot of fun in this role, and you're almost a straight man to his very comedic character in a lot of ways, which I thought was fun.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest struggle of the movie was trying not to laugh all the time. But I think that's a good problem to have. I don't know how people do it, honestly. I don't know. I barely pulled myself together. But I don't know how people share the screen with Ryan and don't just laugh 24/7 because that's what I did. He was very gracious with me. You know, me laughing at him all the time. It gets old after a little while, but I can't help it. He's just so funny. One of my favorite things that we did was if interviews. That was all him, just throwing out stuff. So I tried to play off of him, but I don't think I ever did. I think I just tried to keep a straight face.
Oh, amazing. And of course, Fiona Shaw as well. She's quite an icon of the screen. And yes, she's playing your grandmother. You get some great scenes together. So did you learn a lot from her? And do you have a lot of fun as well together?
Yes, me and Fiona had the best time. She's just so brilliant. She's lovely. I don't know, she's just so amazing. I don't think I've ever met anyone like her. Her energy is just like infectious. I don't know. Anytime Fiona's on set, everyone is just so happy and smiley. I taught her how to play Wordle. So we did that a lot in between takes. Um, but yeah, I still talk to her too. She's just so amazing. She's very dedicated as well. She always um, got very into her character, and I always like to watch her and see what ideas she would throw out to John. And most of the time they worked. Obviously, the actors knows their character. So
Yeah, for sure. And I know you mentioned obviously you did have people to work with when playing the ifs on set, but were you shown what they would look like beforehand, whether it was maybe some concept art or some early designs just to, help you with your performance with them?
yeah, John showed us as much as he could, or he showed me as much as he could. I knew what most of them would look like. We had this thing, I don't remember what it was called, but it was kind of like a VFX thing. So anytime he would get an update, he would show it to me. So I got to see like Blue in the making, and I got to see Blossom in the making. But there were a few ifs that I didn't see and that I didn't hear. So when I watched the movie for the first time, it was a nice surprise.
Oh, amazing. Of course, talking of the ifs, we see so many of them during that really memorable dance sequence in the film that you and Ryan are part of. So what was it like to shoot that? And must have been a crazy couple of days on set to work on a scene like that one.
Yeah, well, that was probably my favorite scene to shoot. I've always wanted to dance in a movie because I've been dancing since I was one. John didn't know that though. So originally, when he wrote it, it was going to be the Ifs dancing for B. But then he found out that I could dance, so then he put me in it. So my dream came true, and I think it turned out pretty well, if I do say so myself. That was I think we did it for like 2 or 3 days, and they were just so much fun. Our choreographer was Mandy Moore. She's incredible. I feel honored to have worked with her. And every time that scene starts, I just have a smile on my face for however long it lasts.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's such a fantastic moment, and B is such a great character to play. And obviously, I know this was your first movie as a lead. So, what was it like to obviously not just be a lead, but to have such a great character to play at the same time?
I don't know. I just feel very honored. I was very nervous about shooting because I had never done a lead role before, but I was also just so excited because this is literally my dream project. Um, so I think I don't know. I was nervous. I was excited, but as soon as we started shooting, I just had so much fun. We did it for 3 months, and every single day I shot out of my bed and I was ready to go, no matter how early it was, because I'm not a morning person, but I was for If. No doubt about it. I was just so excited to go to set every day and see what we were going to get into that day. So it was definitely the most magical experience I've ever had, and probably the most fun I've ever had while shooting.
Oh, that's so awesome to hear. And of course, part of the fun for me as a member of the audience was all those great cameos, obviously the different actors playing the ifs and just the fun of then seeing their names in the credits. But did you have any favorites when you got to see the movie and you saw those cameos?
Oh, geez, that's hard. Um, I love Brad Pitt as Keith. I think that's just freaking genius. I mean, everybody loves that. I don't know. That's hard. I have my favorite If is Lewis, but I have like he's like my favorite, but then I have like a new other favorite every time I watch it. If that makes any sense. Most recently, it would probably be Uni, the unicorn, who was Emily, just because she's so cute. She's so nervous.
Oh, fantastic. And I can see obviously behind you, you've got Blue behind you and such a
Oh
yes, such a great character played by Steve Carell. And,
yeah.
I'm guessing you two didn't get to work together on set. So what was it like for you to see him bring the character to life, obviously, again, when you got to sit down and watch the movie? Because the two of you,
Yeah,
again, such a great dynamic.
thank you. Blue is one of my favorite characters. I don't know how people, I don't know. I just smile every time he comes on camera. He's just so cute. I think Steve was perfect. I got to meet him before the movie came out. We were doing ADR. So I was waiting in the lobby, and John texted me, and he was like, just give me a second. We're finishing up with Steve, and I was like, oh my god, hello. I watch him on TV every day because The Office is my favorite show, and I had heard his voice is Blue, but like I was just so excited. So I got to meet Steve during my ADR session, and I got to catch the last like 15 minutes of his session. And I thought that I was just gonna laugh my butt off while he was doing his thing, but I started weeping just because he's so good. He's just, I don't know. I think voice work is so hard. I wouldn't know, but I feel like it would be. But I think he was just so perfect. He's just so good at what he does. And I don't know, he's just so talented.
Yeah, for sure. And, while I have you, this isn't your first huge movie because obviously I know you showed up as Rey in Star Wars and on the TV side playing Sylvie and Loki. So are those two roles ones you'd ever like to return, or are you looking to do something new and original like this project moving forward?
That's a good question. I think I would definitely like to go back to those. That would be really cool. Um, I really loved both of those, even though I played such a small part in them. So I would love to do it again. I don't really remember Star Wars that much because I was so little. I was 8.
Yeah.
But I do remember J.J. Abrams being so kind to me. I was only there for one day, but he was so kind to me because I just had to cry all day. But I got to go to Disneyland at the end of the day, thanks to him. So he's amazing. And then I was on cloud nine doing Loki too, just because I was such a big fan. And I was gonna watch the show regardless. So whenever I was watching it and then I showed up, it was pretty cool.
Cailey, great to speak to you, and congratulations on the movie. I thought it was
Thank
fantastic and
you.
a real scene stealer in this one. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you again.